Welcome to Underworld UK, where Britain's darkest stories are brought to light. From the gritty streets of gangland London, Liverpool, Manchester and Birmingham, from Curtis Warren to the Cray twins to county lines and modern day true crime, we cover everything. Bringing you new videos every week. Subscribe so that you'll be notified when the next video is put out.
Every week, we take you deep into the British underworld, where encrypted phones, double lives, and dark deals shape the hidden reality behind our streets. If you're into hard-hitting true crime stories and underworld investigations, do us a favour. Hit like, drop a comment, subscribe, and share this video. That really is the best way to help this channel grow and to keep stories like this coming. I really appreciate all your support, guys, so far, so keep it coming. Thank you so much. Now let's get into today's case. It was a holiday snap, the type of picture thousands of people upload to Instagram every day. Taken from a plush Spanish apartment, it showed a blue sky and a sea view. But the sending of the image marked the start of a remarkable chain of events, which ultimately ended in someone being jailed after being hunted down across Europe. Jamie Rothwell had been well known to the law enforcement in Greater Manchester since his younger years. His profile increased when he became one of the leading protagonists in a gang war which plagued Salford, which ended in the murder of Mr. Big himself, Paul Massey. In the spring of 2020, international law enforcement agencies hacked into an encrypted phone network trusted by criminals around the world. It gave detectives access to private conversations between thousands of organised criminals, oblivious to the fact that the supposedly uncrackable EncroChat system had been blown wide open for 74 days. Now, I see a lot of you guys comment on my videos about EncroChat, and it's right, some of you are saying that it was set up just to catch criminals out, because it's caught out so many criminals so far. But anyway, back to the story. Fugitive Jamie Rothwell was among 60,000 users who put their faith in the instant messaging service to run their underworld operations. But now, Salford gangster Rothwell has been sentenced to 43 years after ordering underworld hits, arranging huge drug deals, and the sale of guns from his Spanish bolthole. Rothwell had a modest list of previous convictions to his name, the most serious being the robbery committed with others when he was just 15 years old. But the unveiling of a treasure trove of evidence revealed the true staggering level which the 38-year-old was operating at. Rothwell had become one of the National Crime Agency's most wanted after messages revealed he had organised a shooting in Warrington, which was all about some gangland feud, whilst he lived in his plush apartment in Barcelona. But the net eventually closed in on Rothwell, and he was brought back to the UK to face justice. He was sentenced at Manchester Crown Court, appearing via video link from HMP Wakefield. Messages exposed his command over a sprawling criminal enterprise and his involvement in the trafficking of high-powered weapons such as AK-47 rifles. From the comfort of his high-rise apartment overlooking Barcelona, Rothwell was running a multi-million pounds drugs and guns operation. While he lapped up in the Spanish sun, his associates carried out his orders and searched the streets of Warrington for those that Rothwell intended to harm, said Deputy Inspector Nick Henderson of the Cheshire Police. His actions brought chaos to the local community, leaving innocent members of the public fearful. The messages revealed how Rothwell was the catalyst behind a gangland hit where an innocent man was shot. 2 days before the shooting, Rothwell and another man discussed Rothwell's wish to find out where Liam Byrne Jr. and his father, Liam Byrne Sr. lived. In one message, Rothwell stated, "I'm gonna do them all soon," before discussing the use of a specific van as a getaway vehicle. On the evening of the 24th of April 2020, David Barnes, the stepfather of Liam Byrne Jr., was shot in the leg on the doorstep of his own home in Warrington by a gunman posing as a delivery driver. In other messages, Rothwell discussed his escalating feud with gangland boss Leon Collin, who at the time had fled to Dubai. Through those encrypted exchanges, it became clear that Rothwell was on the warpath. He had fellow drug dealer Leon Collin in his sights. It's not clear why the feud began. In April 2020, Rothwell said on EncroChat, "I've given Leon a way out. He's a grass. He turned me out for nothing, then tried to kill me while my daughter was there. He's my only enemy, and when he lands in the UK, that's when it starts." Rothwell said he also had a list of all those that worked for Collin, who was then in Dubai, and in 2021 back in the UK and jail for 22 and a half years. Among those believed to be linked to Collin was Liam Byrne Jr., who became a target for Rothwell. "I'm gonna do them all soon," Rothwell said on EncroChat. From his apartment, Rothwell arranged a team to head to Warrington to send a message. Knocking on Byrne's front door, the gunman posed as a delivery driver. Put the inside pizza box, there was a gun. Byrne Jr. was not at home, and it was his stepfather who answered the door. He was shot in the leg, but he survived. A planned hit at another house failed after the attackers arrived at the wrong address. "I done two at the same time," Rothwell boasted shortly. It was this shocking episode of gun crime which prompted the National Crime Agency to hunt down Rothwell. It proved that Rothwell meant business. For Nick Pope, the senior investigating officer on the case for the NCA, Rothwell's whereabouts became his passion. "For a number of weeks, I didn't think about much else," he told the Channel 4 documentary Operation Dark Phone, Murder by Text. He feared Rothwell may strike again. But Pope described Rothwell's posting of a holiday snap as a fatal error. He said, "When you go on holiday, you take pictures. You take pictures of the city. And that's exactly what he done." I'm thinking, this is gold dust. We can find out where that is. That was where the breadcrumbs trail started. Within hours, officers comparing with Google Earth images had worked out that he was in the Diagonal Mall area of the city and pinpointed the specific apartment block where he had taken the picture from. Pope then reached out to the Spanish police, who had the power to arrest Rothwell on their home soil. Miraculously surviving after being shot in the street, acquitted of murder conspiracy, and stabbed in prison, and twice extradited back to the UK, this time Rothwell could not avoid the inevitable. He has now received a huge 43-year stretch. But the Salford gangster was not the only one to place complete trust in EncroChat using anonymous usernames. Gangsters all across Europe ordered murders, brought and sold guns, and arranged for huge drug importations, all under the noses of the police, or so they thought. Conard was jailed at Liverpool Crown Court in May 2021 for 22 and a half years. He admitted conspiracy to supply firearms, conspiracy to possess ammunition, and conspiracy to supply cocaine. Other communication revealed how Rothwell advertised and arranged for the purpose and storage of automatic firearms and live ammunition, most notably AK-47 rifle, as well as hordes of cocaine and also ketamine. Detective Sergeant Colin Shackleton from Greater Manchester Police said, "The supply of Class A drugs in this investigation were on an industrial scale, with the criminal gang making eye-watering profits. They believed that they were above the law, and having access to their messages gave us a real insight into their arrogant, egotistical, and apathetic nature." In the mistaken belief that EncroChat could not be infiltrated, Rothwell inadvertently sealed his own fate when he shared the photograph of himself in a mirror. He also shared a picture of panoramic views from his high-rise apartment. And like we just discussed before, it was the breakthrough that police wanted. They scoured thousands of messages between criminals conducted in their day-to-day affairs. Detectives now knew the identity and the location of the man behind the handle called Live Long on EncroChat. Rothwell was already known to the police with previous conviction for robbery, possession of a weapon, and drug dealing. He was also wanted over shooting in Salford in 2015. Think that was the connected to the Paul Massey, but I'm not sure. Ultimately, he was arrested on the 24th of May in Barcelona before being extradited to face the UK justice system. In the middle of June 2020, a service-wide message went out to EncroChat users to alert them that the server had been compromised. Users were advised to delete their chat histories and dispose of their devices. The server, which was located in northern France, has since been shut down. Shortly after, 9 other men were arrested as part of their involvement in the drugs and firearms conspiracy. Rothwell went on trial over the shooting in Salford, but was acquitted in the summer of 2020. He then fled to Holland before being arrested in a taxi in Amsterdam. In December of that year, and once again extradited back to the UK. In February 2025, Rothwell changed his plea, admitting conspiracy to possess firearms and ammunition with intent to endanger life, conspiracy to supply cocaine and ketamine, and 2 counts of conspiracy to inflict grievously bodily harm with intent. He was sentenced to 43 years, 18 years for the drug offences, and 25 years for the firearm charges to be served consecutively. The firearm term includes 21 years in prison with an extra 4 years on licence. Senior investigating officer Wayne Johns from the National Crime Agency said, more than 2,000 criminals have been convicted under Operation Venetti, and Jamie Rothwell is one of the most dangerous. Throughout the operation, the NCA and the UK police have stopped 200 threats to life, seized over 84 million in criminal funds and more than 8 tons of Class A drugs, recovered 175 firearms and more than 3,500 rounds of ammunition. Guys, thank you once again for watching the video. I really appreciate it, and we'll be back soon with a brand new video. Thank you.